Good morning. So on this video, it's about nutrition really. And you're gonna say, right, this fucker at the beginning of the lockdown, he told me he was gonna help me lose weight and he was gonna tell me how to diet, and he hasn't, right? And there's a reason for that. It's because I needed you to work out your maintenance calories, okay? It's the first step you need to take. And if you can work out your maintenance calories and you increase your activity level and you start to exercise, then you're gonna be in a much better position, okay? Very, very rarely I ask any of my clients to diet from day one, okay? So again, I want them to perform better and I want them to feel good and I want them to start from maintenance, and then that's gonna give me a much better position to diet from that. Okay, so let's say now you're in that better position, okay? So today I'm gonna give you 3 very easy tips in how you can create a deficit from diet. So you can start dieting now, okay? Because summer is around the corner, so you gotta hurry up, right? So tip number 1, we're just gonna take out one meal. Whether you eat 2 meals a day, 3 meals a day, 4 meals a day, you're just gonna take out one of those. A little bit difficult to not eat at all, so if you're eating 1 meal a day, then maybe this doesn't apply to you so much. But let's say you're eating 4 times a day, okay? You can take away one of those meals and that's gonna create a deficit. Now, which meal you take out, it's dependent on your lifestyle, on how you feel and how you like. So let's say, for example, if you're a person who's easy for you to in the morning, just wake up, have a coffee and get to work, then take out the breakfast. Maybe you really sleep in the morning and you're really hungry and you just don't function without any food. Get the breakfast, maybe skip lunch, maybe skip dinner. Again, just based on how you feel, but the main idea of this is that you're just gonna reduce your calories by taking out one of the meals. Easy. Tip number 2, we're gonna swap either your carbs or your fats for more veggies. More veggies are always a better option, okay? So in this case, we're gonna take out your carbs or your fats and swap them for veggies. When you look at your macros or when you look at your calories or your diet and you have a diet that has higher carbohydrates, then start by taking out the carbohydrates. If you're having a diet that's higher in fat but doesn't have so many carbohydrates to take out, maybe you can take some of the fat. So whether you're following a high carb or a high fat diet, it will be based on you. So it's just whatever you can stick to the most, whatever you enjoy the most. It doesn't matter, but you're gonna take out one or the other. So if you're looking at your plate, for example, your plate's gonna look exactly the same. You're gonna have the same amount of protein. You're gonna have the veggies that you had before. And let's say, for example, if I choose to take out carbs, I'm gonna take out the potatoes and I'm gonna add extra veggies on it. And then you're gonna still have your fats, whether you're having some nuts or avocado or whatever. If you're deciding to take out fats, let's say instead of the avocado, you're gonna have avocado is a veggie, but it's high in fat. But let's say if you had nuts, I'm gonna take out the nuts and then I'm gonna add extra veggies. And you still have your potatoes because you're choosing to switch some of the fats for extra veggies. Again, it's gonna be dependent on what you have more to play with and what you choose to take out. It doesn't really matter so much. And now the third tip is it's an easy one. You're going to swap for lower calorie options of the same thing. Easy enough. Or for similar things. So let's say, for example, a very obvious one will be if you drink Pepsi or fizzy drinks, you're gonna switch that for Pepsi Max, which has no calories. If you use sugar, you're gonna swap that for stevia or for flavor drops. You see me using the flavor drops, tasty drops. They're amazing because let's say instead of using sugar on my coffee, I'm just adding flavor drops and now it tastes like caramel, it tastes sweet and it makes it a little more enjoyable without adding any calories. You can add the flavor drops to yogurt, you can add it to your milk, to your protein shake, to whatever it is. You can also switch, for example, from your protein shake from having milk to having water. You drop some of the calories there. Easy swap. You can swap from, I don't know, anything that will have lower calories. Most things will have a lower calorie option. So even mayonnaise will have a light option which has a little bit less calories than the normal version. Now remember, sometimes these light versions still have calories, but they will have less. So keep that in mind, but it's definitely going to help you reduce your calories by a little bit. Now you can apply all these steps in one of the steps. Choose one that fits your lifestyle the most. A recommendation that I will give you will be not to do it all day every day. Will be to start easily so then you can progressively increase it. So I will recommend you to, let's say, start creating a deficit on 3 days. Say if I choose to take out one of my meals for 3 days, so I'm gonna say Monday to Wednesday, I'm gonna eat 3 meals instead of 4. You create a deficit on those 3 days. when your weight stops dropping or you stop losing weight, then you can create that deficit or apply that technique for 4 days, then 5 days, then 6 days, then 7 days. And what that is allowing you is to progressively increase your diet and progressively move forward, as opposed to dieting the complete 7 days and be like, okay, what am I gonna do now? It's too hard, it's not sustainable, I don't feel good, my energy levels just drop. Sometimes it's easier to leave yourself room for progression and leave room for adjustment, so you can adjust it. So if you're taking out the carbs for your meals and you switch it for veggies, then just have three low carb days, and then your other days are normal. That way it just feels a little bit easier to kind of integrate it to your routine. And even if you're not tracking your calories and you're following this step, this is going to allow you to create a deficit, or it will help you create a deficit. It is a better option if you are tracking your calories and you worked out your maintenance calories and you're creating a deficit, and you make sure that when you do these steps, you will see the numbers being reduced. So let's say, for example, if your calories were 2000 and you apply any of these steps, your calories will sit somewhere, let's say on 1500, 1600, and you can see the numbers. Once you can see the numbers, it will give you a better idea where you're at, and you can manipulate it a lot better. But even if you don't track your calories and your meals stay the same and you apply any of these steps, you will find it useful and helpful, because you will create a deficit and you will see your weight dropping. Okay, remember, it doesn't happen overnight, it's not a straight away. Okay, sometimes you will have to take one steps. Let's say you will start with the 3 days, you may see no changes, but stick to that. You may see no changes, and then once you increase it to the 4 days, then you will start seeing changes. Then those changes will stop. Then you increase it to the 5 days and the 6 days. It's very, very hard to create that deficit in an exact number. I find it that let's say you have your maintenance is 2000. Once you create a deficit, that deficit area is a bracket. Okay, so let's say if you go from 2000 to 1900, technically you created a deficit, but that bracket of maintenance, you're still on it. Okay, because it's not an exact number. Okay, and then you go to 1800, you're still within your maintenance bracket. Then 1700, 1600, and you're like, wow, I created a deficit, why am I not losing weight? And then you get it to 1500, you will be now into the next bracket, and that's when you start dropping weight. Okay, and that's when counting calories makes it easier to kind of see where you're at, because it makes your decision making a little bit more accurate. Okay, still not perfect, but it definitely makes it more accurate. So if you don't see progress straight away, don't panic, don't stress, just stick to it. Increase it a little bit, increase it a little bit, increase it a little bit, and just be patient with it. Understand that everything takes time. Okay, I hope you find this useful. I hope you can apply it. Okay, it should be super simple for you to start applying these things straight away without having to think too much. But if you got any questions and if you need any more help in terms of training or nutrition, you shoot me a message and I'm always happy to help. Have a good day.